We begin our session by praying together according to each one's faith. Please be seated, guys. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's pray together. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi zidni ilman warzuqni fahman waj'alni min ibadikas sholihin. All right. Thanks for having me today. Do you know what meeting today is? 10, I believe, right? So, okay. Which means if you kind of think of to drop this course, this week is the last chance. Okay, if the case you want to drop. I will start my session today by showing you an infographics. Today's topic is task analysis. I have shared these materials with you on my ITS classroom. You can give it a check. So right after the model and mental model and representations, we continue with this topic, task analysis. Check it there. This graphic is there as well. And if you need, you can also download the PDF slides, and for the video, we can watch it together after this. So our agenda today, after a little bit knowing about how to utilize this or what is these two things, GOMS and cognitive models, we will administer exercises. Jadi setelah hari ini nanti kita mengetahui sedikit mengenai apa itu GOMS dan model kognitif, kita akan lanjut ke kegiatan kelompok, okay? Team exercises. So I will need you to work together with your teammates. If the case you are now separated from them, make sure that you are gathered next moment when we conduct the exercise. This task analysis outcome and outputs, or at least will be two things. Some documentation about speaking about the cognitive model. So you will record a documentation, a role play with your teammates. So you will need to break down the teams into two parties or two separate roles. One of some of the team members will be designers, okay, responsible for the designers, which means that in terms of cognitive models later, they will need to analyze, to write the transcript, to interpret what the counterparts doing. The counterparts, some other parts of the members will act on some task. So you should design some tasks. The designer should give the task. What are the tasks will be for the case study that you are holding on right now. Jadi rekan-rekan sekarang kan sudah megang topik atau tema untuk kind of final project-nya nanti. Kemarin sudah presentasi, ya kan? Temanya sudah tentu. Berangkat dari tema itu, kalian akan bagi bagi timnya menjadi dua peran. Yang pertama akan berperan sebagai desainer, yang dia punya task untuk menentukan tasknya apa aja. Kemudian the counterparts nanti akan memerankan dengan task seperti itu, dia akan memerankan sesuatu, melakukan pekerjaan itu. Kemudian tugasnya desainer untuk merekam video dokumentasi, audionya juga, dan melakukan penafsiran, interpret. Oke, itu nanti yang akan kita lakukan di aktivitas yang cognitive models. Oh, by the way, for the counterparts, the ones that take the role as the users, that act as the users doing the task, will need to speak out loud. Think out loud. It means that for any single task or any single micro actions that they do, they need to also speak it out loud. So the designer will can capture what are the users actually doing in that particular task. Jadi ketika nanti sudah bagi tugas tadi, yang bertugas sebagai users, pura-puranya dia akan punya peran sebagai apa namanya? Kalau misalkan nanti dia sudah menerima tugas dari desainer, maka dia akan melakukan action-action tertentu yang untuk meraih user goals itu sesuai dengan tasknya sambil ngomong yang keras. Ngomong dan apa yang ada di otaknya itu semuanya diomongin. Tuh. Tidak hanya apa yang dilakukan, tapi juga omongin perasaannya. Aku bingung apa, aku mikir gini dan sebagainya. So that's what so-called think out loud protocol. Okay, so you will need to do that in this part. So on the right side, the cognitive task analysis (CTA), the official term for this, should be done in that way. So that's one of the activity. The second one will be manifesting the actions that the users do in GOMS structurally. So you need to write it down. So or type it down with this definition: the goals, the operators, the methods, the selections. What are on the left? What is on the left representing behaviorism? Do you still remember the three user views? Okay, what is on the left, in your opinion, related to among those three? What are those three? Processor, predictor, participants. The behaviorism. This is one of the question in the quiz. I still remember that. It is related to the keywords is here. You can find it somewhere on the left. The answer is processor. Okay. So the processor is on the left side, which is related to the behaviorism. What is on the right side is cognitivism. One discipline in psychology, cognitivism, supports these models, this CTA, cognitive task analysis, or the cognitive models. Okay, this is the introduction, and now let's watch the video.
Welcome! We are jumping right into today's explainer, where we're going to master human-computer interaction task analysis, and we're doing it with a really fun, kind of cute sci-fi twist. Imagine for a second we're designing the interfaces of tomorrow. Maybe it's a super complex, glowing holographic dashboard for a starship, or maybe it's the interface for an adorable little droid companion. How do we make absolutely sure our designs actually work for the humans who have to use them?
Well, before we build any of that, we have to ask the single most fundamental question at the heart of our field. What task are your users actually performing? In HCI, we look at the messy, real-world tasks people are doing right now, and we try to restructure those tasks to be way more efficient using new interfaces. The task itself is literally the beating heart of the whole exercise.
Okay, here's our flight plan for today. We'll start with the heart of HCI, move into the GOMS model, go inside the user's head, tackle hierarchical task analysis, evaluate our frameworks, and finally, pack up your interface design toolkit. Let's go.
Blasting right into Section 1, the heart of HCI. Subtitle, Behaviorism versus Cognitivism. This is the classic tug of war we face as interface designers, rooted in a really old psychology debate. Do we just observe the inputs and outputs, kind of like a cute, literal-minded processing droid? That's behaviorism. It emphasizes only the things we can directly observe, what input a person gets and what output they produce. Or do we need to tap into the human mind to understand their memory, learning, and perception? That's cognitivism. So which side of the force should we lean on? Well, as you'll see, both have massive, massive value. Moving to Section 2, the GOMS model. This is our observable, droid-like approach.
The crucial thing here is the acronym itself: goals, operators, methods, and selection rules. This model takes human interaction and formalizes it into highly measurable mechanical steps. Goals are simply what the user wants to achieve. Operators are the literal, physical actions they can perform, like pressing a shiny button. Methods are the sequences of those operators strung together. And selection rules tell us how a user chooses among competing methods when they have more than one option.
Let's actually map this out with an everyday scenario. Picture Morgan disabling her home security system. Her main goal: enter the house without setting off the alarm. When Morgan walks up to the door, her selection rule kicks in immediately. Are her hands full of groceries or are they empty? That single rule dictates her method. If her hands are full, she might choose the keypad method so she can quickly drop her bags. If they're empty, she just uses her keychain. Finally, she executes the physical operator, punching the code or hitting the button to actually disarm the alarm. It happens in seconds, but it's highly structured.
What's really fascinating is how GOMS has evolved into a whole family of specialized variations. For example, there's KLM, the keystroke level model, which lets us assign exact microsecond time costs to specific operators, like a single keystroke or a screen tab, so we can sum up the complexity and trim the waste out of our designs. There's also CMN GOMS for strict goal hierarchies, NGOMSL for natural language interfaces, and CPM GOMS, which is awesome for handling parallel multitasking environments.
If you're going to use GOMS, keep these 5 quick tips in your back pocket. Focus on small moment-to-moment goals. Nest your goals carefully, but remember that operators are your unbreakable atoms. You can't nest those. Always be clear if your model is describing reality or prescribing a new way to do things. Assign time costs. And finally, use all that juicy data to relentlessly trim the waste out of your interface.
Okay, shifting gears into Section 3, inside the user's head. Let's pivot from the physical droid to the unseen mind with cognitive task analysis.
Unlike our little droid friend GOMS, which is basically an input-output machine, CTA acts as a predictor model. It literally tries to get inside the user's head. It forces us to evaluate complex internal reasoning, cognitive load, memory, and attention span. We stop caring just about what the user physically clicks and start caring about what they are thinking and feeling in that exact moment.
Think about driving a car. If you're a kid sitting in the back seat, it looks like the driver is just chilling out, basically doing the exact same thing you're doing. But internally, the driver's mind is processing a massive cognitive load. They're monitoring the route, checking their speed, predicting hazards, watching the fuel gauge. It is an incredibly intense mental process that is almost completely unobservable from the outside. That is exactly what CTA tries to capture.
So how do we capture the invisible? Well, we follow a pretty rigorous sequence. First, we collect preliminary knowledge by observing the user. Next, we figure out the structure of what they need to know. Is it a rigid sequence of steps, or more like a web of connected facts? Third, we populate this model using knowledge elicitation. A massive fan favorite here is the Think Aloud protocol, where the user literally narrates their inner monologue while doing the task. Fourth, we analyze and verify our findings directly with the user so we don't accidentally misinterpret them. And finally, we format the results into a model, showing what the user was thinking, feeling, and remembering.
Next up, Section 4, Hierarchical Task Analysis, breaking down the complex into manageable pieces.
The reality is, massive, complex tasks are usually just a bunch of tiny subtasks stacked together. When we buy something online, for instance, we use real-world analogies, like putting items into a virtual cart, to totally ease the cognitive load. From there, we break the checkout process into highly modular, super standardized steps. Pretty much every online vendor in the galaxy uses a variation of this exact same checkout subtask.
And honestly, this hierarchical approach is an absolute superpower for you as informatics students. By breaking complex flows into well-defined subtasks, it lets you leverage tools that already exist. I mean, why rebuild the payment processor from scratch when you can just drop a standardized PayPal widget right into your checkout flow? This modularity lets you abstract out the boring details so you can focus your design energy on what makes your specific app unique and amazing.
Which brings us to Section 5, Evaluating the Frameworks, Droids versus the Mind. Let's see how they stack up.
It's the ultimate showdown when we compare these side by side. GOMS is your best friend for generating incredibly fast predictions and trimming physical waste, but it heavily assumes your user is already an expert and it totally ignores complex real-world context. CTS, on the flip side, is brilliant for mapping out rich internal thoughts and unpacking dense expert mental models. The catch? It is incredibly time-consuming, it often ignores the physical context of the real world, and just like GOMS, it really struggles with true novices who are just trying to learn the ropes.
But hey, the universe is vast. Beyond our two main heroes, there's a whole galaxy of specialized models out there waiting for you, depending on what your system needs. You've got CDM, which hones in purely on critical decisions, TKS, which focuses on the very nature of human knowledge, CFM tackles sheer complexity, and if you're building artificial intelligence, production systems essentially write out explicit rules for users to follow, much like programming an AI droid.
Let's wrap things up with Section 6, your Interface Design Toolkit, applying the theory. Because at the end of the day, every single application of HCI involves a user trying to get a task done. Whether you're designing an educational platform where the whole task is purely cognitive learning, or you're building a wild, immersive VR space that uses complex gesture recognition to let users sculpt virtual clay, task analysis is the magic key. It's what unlocks a usable, totally frictionless design.
So as we close out today's explainer, I have a challenge for you. Think about the specific field you want to work in. For your very next project, are you going to rely on the observable, processor-oriented efficiency of GOMS to ruthlessly trim the physical waste, or are you going to dive deep into the mind using cognitive task analysis to map out complex internal reasoning? Choose your framework wisely, my future designers. Keep exploring, keep analyzing, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.
Okay, so that's GOMS and CTA. Now, I would like you with your teammates to at first, since you know that from the video, we can do the GOMS faster than CTA. So we will do the GOMS first, okay? CTA will do it later, in maybe after 9 o'clock, I think. So we can start with the GOMS first. So I will need for you to work together with your teammates, gather with your teammates now, and then you can use, for now, I think it's good to just utilize the My Desk Classroom first. So when you go to My Desk Classroom, I prepared forums. So there is a forum called Task Analysis. Go to Classroom, okay? Oh, but anyway, before we move into the activities, maybe you will need to spend some time to understand the context. So I think it would be better if you can check this article first as well. So you go with this card. Okay, mental model, representation, and task analysis on the My Desk Classroom. Scroll it down. Go the 3 pages, I may say, after last week's recording. 1, 2, 3. So I will need you to practice this later. But of course, before you finally work on this, you will need to read the article first. And then once you complete it, click on here, on this task analysis, and add new discussion topic for each team. Okay. Name the subject with the product's name. You can use with the product's name or your team's name. Do you have any question? It's all clear. I give you 10 minutes first to read these 3 articles first. Okay, go ahead, read these 3 articles. After that, I will give you another video example from the Udacity, the source of these materials, and then continuing with the activity. read 3 different articles. Those 3 give you yet different perspectives on what are task analysis. Actually, it's quite broad. The way to achieve analyzing how to analyze the task can be in several or many methods. Okay. However, for our particular exercise after this, we may reflect on tend to reflect to what NN group has defined. Specifically this scenario example. Okay. You may realize that actually you have done this kind of, but in a different formats. What so-called gulf of execution, gulf of evaluation, those things, you have described it on your proposal, right? However, maybe the way you describe it is still in a kind of narrative, it's in a narration. You will need to structure it in such way, exemplified in this diagram. So you will need to create some kind of flow charts, you may say, and then basically what you have as a user goals is the G on the GOMS, the G. And then this option is like what kind of condition may happen, and then you take some particular path of actions, a series of procedure. That conditions is called S, the selections. So we have G and S. And then in the middle, we have operators and GON, operators, and I forgot the M. The method, okay? So operators is this singleton, this one particular action that the contents of its rectangle, that is operator. And then the series of operator, we call it methods. Okay, we call it methods. So 1.1 until 1.6 is method. We usually name it, like, for example, this is the method. Oh wait, no. This plan O is the method. This plan O is the method. And the operator, as I mentioned, is the singleton. I will play yet another video to give you more concrete example. This should be not recording. So see that you want to go somewhere on some place. You want to go for a picnic, maybe with your family, or it's a business trip. It depends, right? So due to your selection, so whether it's a business trip or this is just a pleasure, or this is your just solo travel, it may lead you to some decisions to pick one of these methods, right? So you can go with the scenic option, or go to the highway. If the case is a business trip, you just want to reach your destination as soon as possible, or you go with the regular route to the surface. All of them will bring you to the destination, but usually you pick one of these options. Scenic may be longer than others, but you choose that because you are solo traveling, you just want to enjoy the scenery, then you pick this. Okay, method in this case are scenic, highway, and surface. The operators for scenic is turn left, blah 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 blah, until you finally reach your destination. The highways also got some particular routes, directions, and then reach the destination. Surface also do the same. Okay, these operators are going to be different, of course, because the route that you take is different. This recent video we watched, there are 2 types of methods. Okay, so you can disalarm your security system in your smart home after you open the door and then you disalarm the security system. There are two ways. The first way done by this girl is by typing the code on the keypad, right? And the second one is like through the keychain. So it just disalarm the things on the keychain. So there are two methods. We may imagine that the first case can be done if our hands is free of duty, or we do not do anything else like bringing stuff or like something like that. So we can use our both hands, the fingers are free to type on the keypad. Imagine that you bring some grocery. You just went shopping and then you bring those groceries a lot on your hands. So it's hard for you to type on the keypad after you open the door. So the best way to do to disalarm the things, the security will be by utilizing that keychain. You can imagine that, right? Now let's take a look on the second video. Okay, so you may gather with your teammates to work on the task analysis, starting with the GOMS. Okay. And maybe after 30 minutes, I will ask one or two teams to give some presentations randomly. Okay, go ahead. Store your results in this forum, in the MyDesk Classroom. All right, I will draw two teams. The first team, who is the lucky one? Let's see, take a look. Close, yes. Where is Koziati? Would you like to share your screen? Yes. Where then you can join the partner for fitness. Wow. Yeah, you mind start explaining. Have you created the diagram? If not yet, maybe you can give it a try. One of the team members plug this to LLM, ask them to create the GOMS models. Meanwhile, you can start explaining. One of the TPA, like collecting all these stuff to Gemini whatsoever for the generate Some other may start explaining about it. What are the tasks? What is the task? Just choose one. Because penugasan apa it is users tools itu yang dipilih untuk menjelaskan. Start the trade. Cuma what's your yeah, the story of the next thing. Start fitness, you offer two methods. The first option or the first method, voice command, through body settings. Touch. Okay, explain it one by one. In the case for voice command, what is the particular condition? Then the users may choose that voice command first. But I still remember during the proposal presentation, I recommend you to just stick with one type of exercise. Okay. So if you have weightlifting or rowing or whatever is trying, just one thing because that's the easiest one. Everybody can imagine is basically burnout speed. Yeah. In the first and the evidence of the technically and the all when everybody was here, then when I come to expert very so in the middle of exercise, people have they have for type of rates of something and pride and back. Or not funding something will be directly or they think slides without it. That you get all maybe they get in the earth and they are using frustrating this whatever they do now. This strong agent in the body when like to run it up everything. Didn't write it up or then less than easy. Less than no, when the heck is looking around it. Oh, yes. Yes. Exactly. I used to say generating things that is if it's successful, you can improve based on the task of all. Other team members may not be in the team or something that takes to mention. While the banana and breaking the book. We wait for the semiconductor. Use this opportunity to say something. You can also repeat the explanation if you're holding Otherwise, if you do not find it, I will consider right now the designer is as a two of you maybe you can act as a user and from the class to role play that. How does it play? Then can also do in front things like interpretation, or maybe yeah, just try to make sure that what's the instruction and these two members will yes, one of them may act on the voice for the voice method, the other will be more. Just imagining the mirror is on the whiteboard, remember? This to the front seat. Yeah, so to the front of that. Wait for it. Okay, can you know this brand or starting they will demonstrate how does it look like. So we are practicing the CTA now. In addition to the GOMS, I mentioned about the CTA. So they will think out loud when they need to start exercise and giving the comments to the machine through the voice. Right? And okay. So starting with what I'm responsible for the voice. Okay. So what is supposed to be when you are in the middle of exercise? Like you mentioned about sit up, push up. Like okay. Don't blame me, it's your teammate. Maybe you can sit down first. So if you're working so what would you do?
First one, I asked the smart minorities what I first do in partner, and then the some is remove this function like first is and if plan like 30 seconds from until 1 minute and it's resets and then wait to the 15% and 50.
Oh, I see. So in this workout, there's a series of movement. Oh, okay, so the time and then push up. Oh, I see. So maybe focus on what part you are focusing on in abdomen or in chest for this scenario. You don't know.
Ya paling beda-beda.
Beda-beda.
Ya,
Ada ini contohnya mau sekarang bagian on the chest. Okay. Okay, so today we will start to have a workout for the sake of our chest, right? So what would you do? Again, mention to the
test is the first is push up. And then
so what exactly the words we say to the
what I do make the test bigger.
okay, I want to make the test. Okay. And then you wait for the response of the machine. What do you expect them to say to the machine? Okay. Please select your preference. So beginner, intermediate, advanced, or pro. So how do you comfort the choice? Comfort. How do you comfort the choice? I would say I choose the beginner. Because it is not fun for me. All right. And I my first friend. And then give you the plan. Yes. They wait for you doing a plan. Okay, so that's all. Okay, thank you. And then moving to the touch screen method. So please explain. No more related. So the sheet. When is come. So the surrounding is crowd, very noisy. We can we cannot use the voice. Understanding. I won't use for on my possibilities correct or wrong. Okay, and you can see the lighting. What kind of workout are you doing there? Example, yet another plank. Yeah. But you are, if you case of plank, you are laying down. Yeah, but so how can you challenge the screen in that case? Before the oh, before starting the plank. And then start plank, spin and opening. More straight or what else again. Okay, thank you. It's successful. Yeah, the events okay, good. Thank you, Farah, and start. So, put it on the minus classroom. And check whether the figures correct. Is it possible to post the minutes and stop this? You can break down. You may give the microphone to for us here, maybe. So because if from the mic, so playing as the summary. So what you got? All right, okay. So main focus they are only measures. We have the effect of family. Also, we have we want to waste and second method is we have great methods. So the example you said baseball is example we say exercise and it will and it switch to the device for the other areas.
It is for the beginning and at the end of the exercise. So so our hands, it's not when doing yeah, right then maybe I'm just gonna push you this question. Do you think Nano Banana accurately depict what you guys intend to present? Or is there any mistake in the statement? Right? That's more important versus no. It's okay for you to use one element as AI may hallucinate it to make sure that it is problem. See, I tried by the central fact. I think this is what we want to do. I think it's really not that. And connected and may not be. Right. So we can also learn something from here as long as your text is long. It's like very descriptive, explainable. Then usually the results if you also ask the element technology generated which to present that idea. Alright. Okay, we can do together. And then we go with the next presenter. Second row for team number 2. So let's see who is the lucky one. IGRS. You may join its.id/IMK. Then carry on. Directly, if you have the limits, delegate. How many methods do you offer? Two. Delegates to students. For another class. Demonstrate. Choose the most expressive one. What is your name? Zumbi, go ahead. And the driver platform, Zumbi, go ahead. So there are two methods. In this scenario, we are talking about, can you tell us again the case study? What the case study all about?
The kiosk if the
Yes.
hospital board.
Taking the queue number.
Yeah, yes.
All right. So can you explain now?
So for the first method,
So you talk about maybe Zulfika, you can basically you can have some if you want to explain about the first
yeah,
maybe you can stand up to make sure that okay. Sorry.
so the first method here we get the kiosk. Let's say there is a kiosk right here. So I'm a user and I come to the kiosk and I press buttons and the kiosk asks for my personal identification.
Okay.
And I have to put it like my name, my phone number, my name, age, everything, and then
How do you enter that? Is it kind of one screen keyboard?
on screen key. And then after I fill my identification, like the kiosk asks for my issues, my what do you need here? What do you want to do here? My symptoms. Yeah, so I feel I define my symptoms or what I want to do in the hospital. Like let's say I want to control routine control that like in then the techniques of the machine processes the information and there's the ticket.
Okay. For the case that you mentioned with regard, in my opinion, this is not really natural. You know that, right? Because we have that keyboard, still kind of traditional approach. I suggest you to later try to remind, at least use voice to the machine. And it's fine. You do not have in the end of this course, you do not need to make them real, right? I mean, you do not need to make it in the production. This is merely an idea. So just make sure that the interactions, all of them are basically make sense, and it's affordable. We can make it with the current technology or maybe some technology that's advanced. I really encourage you to go to that state instead of just relying on the later.
Using voice.
Yes, the machine, the kiosk is still there, but with more natural approach. You can even imagine that the machine, the kiosk should be not the regular kiosk that we know today. Actually, the technology is now even already in the productions. So you can find it on the internet. I forgot because I just found it yesterday on Instagram. You can imagine that there is do you know acrylic? So that's transparent plastic.
Oh yeah.
You can form it in with some materials and try to carve it onto what kind of humanitarian figure, like the receptionist. So it's like writing a receptionist, something like that. And that receptionist, there are. I will inform you later on the WhatsApp group, so you can have a good idea. Because these technologies even already in some airports already, and it's developed by local engineer. Some Indonesian guys are developed that. It's possible. So you use like a projector, shoot on the acrylic, and the acrylic will behave one way. But I believe in the future, and I think it's already possible. You can equip that figure generated with some CDEX label or whatsoever that kind of visualization automatically based on, or just move the lips based on the user's input. They can respond, and even if it's necessary, just give the text like when you chat with the LLM. The response are of the acrylic as well, so it can be two ways. Can you mention that?
Yeah.
Thank you, Zulfikar. We move to what's the name? Octavia. So Octavia will explain about when you talk with the receptionist. Okay.
The second method is if you don't want to use the self-service kiosk, you can go to the receptionist desk to talk with the receptionist. But in this method, we can get maybe a queue that it's
Crowd.
yeah, this crowd because many people want to the receptionist desk. Then we must wait until we turn to the desk. Then we can speak with the receptionist and explain the symptoms and progress your ID. And then we receive the manual ticket from the staff. The ticket will be the dapat ruangan. Untuk dapat the ticket is from the we check up. We waiting for the
reservation.
Then after we receive the ticket, we wait from the number but that we get to become.
Yes. I can imagine that the method on the right side takes longer.
Yeah.
Depends on the queue.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a physical. Well, that's makes sense. However, this is like this without technology. All right. Kind of.
Yes.
Even though
That's
that's
this is for the elder.
for the elderly. Yes. However, I may still, I don't know, but you can ask the GPT there, ask your LLM for a buddy to expand the possibility, even though that yes, we are talking about elderly as a persona, but in my opinion, you can still equip this with some technology. I don't know, maybe when how to make this bottleneck disappear. Think about that way. This is problem. Okay, this is a problem. You need to find a way to eliminate that. If you, it's okay. It's just still talk with the receptionist, but how to make sure that the customers have some like a certainty. They do not need to wait for so long. They know that this is my time to come to the receptionist. Just in time when I come there, I got a service, so I do not need to wait for. Okay, thank you, operator. You may finish. Yay! Round of applause. Thank you. Okay. To close this session, actually, I want to recap what we are talking about, moving back to the topic with the slides. So, as usual, I will ask some friends to come to the front of the class. Maybe I give a privilege to Octavian to choose one of your friends to go to the front of the desk. The slides, as usual. I give you the slides and try to talk anything about the slides. This is basically to recap what we have discussed so far. Should be no problem. Oh, less contrast. Quite bad. Sorry about this. Okay. Slide number 1. Yes. Speak anything up to your interpretation. That's fine. What is your name? At the start of the exercise, we observe that are working right now. Their material work was our goal is to formally into the task and design new interface of creative together for advance to their goal. So what I get from this slide, I think okay, for a certain goal, there is there is a way to get to the goal, right? And then the task to complete the goal might be not that efficient. So we become computer interaction tries to improve the task so that user can get the goals better and more efficient. Thank you, Kagendra. So basically, we want to structure and organize
how the user proceed the task until finally reach their goals. You may choose one of your friends. Okay, continue with, what's your name? Danindra. Go ahead, Danindra. Learn.
Is when with faith and possesses. So observable. So the data can see what it to see or what it to use. And then the mind way and the system internal act as a predictor on that of how to use the system, the memory, learning, and cognitive to actually work that the users can. Yeah.
Great, thank you. So, in short, there are two things, two perspectives that we want to focus on this course in this task analysis. Behaviorism with respect to the processor view and cognitivism with respect to the predictor view. We try to analyze what happens in the real world, the objective results when the users move, talk, etc. We measure that objectively. That's on the left side. On the right side is what is in the user's mind. So that's why we need to be able to speak out loud, or talk aloud, think aloud protocol to capture that. Thank you. Let me connect with your friends. Okay, just right to the right. Easiest. What is your name?
My name is
Alfaro. Go ahead, Alfaro.
So here we can understand the GOMS framework. The G stands for good, the O stands for operator, and stands for method. The S stands for expected the rules is the outcome that the user wants. For example, we have I will say an application, I will implement it my plan and all is the all fakers. It is the atomic action. So for example, when I want to send information to my plan, I say WhatsApp, I want to get over to stress or whether we have something by something like this. Awesome. So as press the Kiosk application to then find my drive spot type and then app methods in this a sequence of the all methods will actually grow. So for my case, if I contact type in field, you type, then I select, then we select other. So next we have the selection tools. In this is if we have that, so basically it will be. So we have few different methods, and the selection tools is one of the reason why we choose method over the other.
Good. Thank you, Alfaro. The next one. So convenient. What is your name? What is your name? JJ. You may recall the video from the one that I played before, that girl opening the door. So this is actually the thing.
It's like the example of GOMS. So first is the manual method to unlock the door is like it's need to enter the key, open the door, enter the code, and the security will be enabled. So the automatic method is to grab the remote, so the security is enabled. So the door will be unlocked and on.
Okay, thanks, JJ. The next one. This one, by the way, I've never taught you, so you can simply read the text is also okay.
I think in the methods of paying the model. The one is the other or the people thinking. It's also the time for evaluation. The depending the other maybe it will have expansion like time it takes to complete the paying the time. The next is PMN GOMS. It has to control the and it's both for finding over there, but that has to go out of our bill. The second is any people and balance. Another thing with or something is the function grid. It's perfectly light area where the particular way in a color.
Yes, I will need you to further understand about these three specific terms by asking Google or GPT to get the detailed answers. But all in all, these all basically like the expansion pack for GOM. Okay, you can use KLM for specific case studies, CMN for another specific case study, and GO is for the natural language case study. Pick your female classmates for now, for this chance. You may pass the microphone, please. Help me pass the microphone. You may choose your other friends to continue. By the way, what's your name? How would I end it now? Rian. Thank you, Berlian. Your friends, other friends, you may choose. Just read, that's okay. Just read the passage, that's okay. Reading exercise. What is your name? Mention your name. Hanifa.
That's inside the user feel the hidden typing of the task, like the monitors of press and anything that has become pretty interesting. From the picture, we could see that there's the observable. And there's the dashboard separator where the shows how the monitoring field levels, how they're feeling like they're anxious, that it helps breaking temperature food and they have CIE fighter. That's for the internal.
Thank you. Your next friend. So you may imagine the situation. This is when our four classmates go to the front of the class and they explain about what they are doing, they want to do. And some of the parts, me as the designer on that time, do not understand. So I ask them questions to clarify. So that's also part of the CDA. Okay? You require the users to think out loud, speaking about all the things, what they do, what they feel, etc. When we as the designers need to clarify things, you can also directly ask questions so you can get what insights their head. Your name? Peter Zahra. Just read the sentences also okay. Okay, thank you, Zahra. So basically, we start with GOMS because it's faster. And then after that, based on that GOMS, we try to run the CTA. We ask some clarification, etc. Based on the results of the CTA, we can go back to our GOMS, try to describe or try to put more notes on the GOMS so it's more comprehensive. So that's the way we do that, the task analysis. Okay, back to the male students. What is your name? Oh yeah, Ilham. Oh, you cut your hair. New hairstyles. Okay, so this is the way of line. First one is unconsumed, which is the users requires extended interviews and complex systematic analysis. Then the complex language, which is very internally on and thoughts. CTA raises the understanding the physical environments and physical limitations
The third one is of this master like girls is utilized on experts who possess knowledge of models being a difficult use which they didn't. So uh, portraying it as a simple steps for the beginners. Then the specialized mind unit perspective for the challenge. Designers use targets DA's barriers like a CDF of critical decisions, PAS, the nature of innovation, and then the last one is CFF or cognitive complexity.
Thank you, Ilham.
You may brief and move on.
So there are still a lot of to learn on the domain of task analysis. You can, what's that? You can, but you can just focus on the CTA and GOMS for this course, especially for the assignment. Next week, I would like to have all of the teams to present the task analysis results. Okay, consider that as your progress report on this final project. Okay, more detail, better. Okay, so try your best to work smart with your teams. You can spare the job description by having maybe later, okay, I'm responsible for structuring the GOMS. You will be responsible for act it out on the stage. I mean, in front of the class to demonstrate the CTA, etc. So that would be our agenda next week. Okay, and for the rest of the slide pages, I consider this as additional or advanced materials. You can check it out yourself on my ITS Classroom. So that's all from me for today. We'll see you again, inshallah, next week, yet in this classroom, physical, offline. Please make sure that you are not late, because if we are agree that when I already talk about the materials, then you are not considered as attending the meeting in the MyTS present. So make sure that late is forbid, still okay, but if it's already 10 minutes, already 15 minutes, so I'm sorry that we need to stick to the rule. This is to train, to exercise our discipline as well. Until then, good morning. Assalamualaikum.